Season's greetings, YouTube. Today I'm going to show you how to make crochet snowflakes. Crochet snowflakes are the perfect handmade holiday craft. They're so beautiful and unique, and just like real snowflakes, everyone is different. You can use them to decorate your tree, your mantle, your skirt. You can give them as gifts, and you can start a tradition by giving a different one to someone each year. So follow along with me as I show you how to create a really easy snowflake and then one that's a little bit more advanced. You'll need these materials for the crochet snowflakes. Size 10 crochet thread. I recommend Aunt Lydia's. Size 1.5mm aluminum crochet hook, though a little bit bigger or smaller will work. If you want to make bigger snowflakes, that's totally fine. Just make sure that you have the correct hook size to correspond with the bigger thread or yarn. You'll also need scissors, craft glue like Elmer's, sewing pins or push pins, parchment paper or cling film, water, a bowl, cardboard or corkboard. And the last thing you'll need is a crochet snowflake pattern. I did design a few crochet snowflake patterns this year, and the link is going to be down in the description to get those. But there's tons of free patterns out there online. I do have a board on my Pinterest that is just crochet snowflakes, so I'm going to also link that down below and you can check that out as well. I'll go into detail about reading the chart style patterns in a later video. So before I show you how to make a snowflake, I'm going to go over some crochet basics. I'm going to include timestamps down below in the description so you can skip ahead if you don't need to know this part. One other thing to note is that I'm going to be speaking in American crochet terms, but I will include a note down below for conversions. So enough of me, let's get to the making. Each crochet project starts by joining your thread to your hook using a cast-on technique like a slip knot. To make a slip knot, leaving a few inches of excess, hold the tail thread in your dominant hand, the working thread in your other hand. Make a loop-de-loop with the non-dominant leg in front. Pinch the X with your dominant thumb and pointer finger. Bring the working thread up behind the loop to create a no symbol. Release your dominant hand grip and hook the center thread. Pull the two dangling threads taut, then pull the working thread taut. Now we have to work on thread tension and grasp. You need to be able to create consistent tension so that all your stitches are nice and even. Take your hook with your slip knot in your dominant hand, anchor the slip knot to your hook with your middle finger, and hold the thread tail out of the way with your other fingers. With your other palm facing you, scoop and loop your pinky around the working yarn like this. Firmly pinch the thread tail with your pointer and thumb, leaving your middle finger anchor. At this point, you'll see a triangle created by the working thread, your pointer finger, and the thread tail. I'm going to call this the neutral position. With the hooky part of the hook facing you, rotate it down through the triangle and back up to neutral position. Now there's a thread ready to become a chain. Readjust your grip and choke up on the thread if you need to. Give a little yank on the thread tail with your pointer and thumb. The tension here is really important. Now gently bring your hook backwards, catching that wrap, and bringing it through the loop on the hook. That's a chain. Notice how the hook starts at a perpendicular angle to the chain when in neutral position, but as it moves through the loop on the hook, it becomes in line with the chain before returning to neutral. This motion is what allows the hook to clear the thread with each stitch. It gets easier to make them after the first few. Practice making a consistent chain with good tension before moving on. The next stitch you need to know is the slip stitch. Chain 6. Now take your hook and put it through the first chain you made. Wrap your thread and pull through both loops on your hook. That's a slip stitch. Another stitch you will see often is called a picot stitch. It's what makes the little decorative bumps and loops around the snowflake. Picots are simply a chain that you slip stitch back into. Start by chaining 5. Slip stitch into the third chain from the hook. That's a 3-chain picot. Picots can be any size, and you can also combine picots to create a fancier effect. Something you might see is a 5-chain picot, then a 7-chain picot, then another 5-chain picot. Okay, so let's make a very simple snowflake. Round 1. Start with a slip knot and chain 6. slip stitch into the first chain that you made. 6th chain from the hook. Round 2, chain 3, then chain 5 more and slip stitch into the 5th chain from your hook, creating a 5-chain picot. Chain 2, then chain 7. Slip stitch into the 7th chain from hook, a 7-chain picot. Chain 1, chain 5, slip stitch into 5th chain from hook. Repeat twice more. Slip stitch into single chain. Seven-chain picot. Slip stitch into next 2 chains. Five-chain picot. Slip stitch into next 3 chains. Slip stitch into next chain in the first round. Repeat starting from the beginning of round 2 5 times. You'll have 6 total spokes on the snowflake. Make a knot and weave in the tail. All right, you've mastered the chain and you're able to make a simple snowflake. So I'm going to show you a few more stitches to use for most snowflakes going forward. So when you create these snowflakes, there's usually 2 ways to cast on. The first way is a chain, and then the second way is called a magic loop. I'm going to show you how to do a magic loop now. To make a magic loop, hold up your pointer and middle fingers, leaving a couple inches for the tail. Grab it with your thumb and wrap the thread away from you and back over, creating an X. Use your pinky to secure the working thread. Point your fingers towards your face and put the hook through the space between your fingers and the closer thread. Hook the back thread. Gently pull it towards you as you slip the magic loop off of your fingers. Make a chain stitch to secure the circle. A lot of patterns will begin with a row of single crochets around the magic loop. First, you need to chain 2 to raise your working yarn to the proper height. Now put your hook through the magic loop and hook your working thread, pulling a loop up. Wrap your thread around your hook again and pull through both loops on your hook. That's a single crochet. Double crochets are similar to single crochets. The only difference is that you wrap your hook before you insert and then draw another loop up. So wrap your hook, insert, draw a loop up, wrap your hook again, draw through the first 2 loops, wrap your hook again, and draw through the second 2 loops. That's a double crochet. A triple crochet follows the same logic as a double crochet, but you wrap your hook twice before inserting and pulling up loops. So you wrap your hook twice, insert, pull up a loop. Wrap your hook again, pull through the first 2 loops. Wrap your hook again, pull through the second 2 loops. Wrap your hook again and pull through the last set of loops. All right, are you ready to move on to a little bit harder of a snowflake? Let's start with a magic loop. Round 1. Chain 4. Then chain 2. Double crochet into the magic loop. Chain 2. Triple crochet into the magic loop. Repeat from the chain 2 5 times. Slip stitch into the 4th chain from the beginning of the round. Round 2. Chain 3, then chain 4. Double crochet into double crochet from round 2. Three chain picot 3 times. Slip stitch into double crochet. Chain 4. Double crochet into the triple crochet from round 1. Repeat from chaining 4 5 times. Slip stitch into the 3rd chain of round 2. Round 3. Chain 3. 5 chain picot. Chain 11. Double crochet into the double crochet from round 2. Five chain picot. 5 chain picot. Slip stitch into the double crochet you just made. Repeat from chaining 11 5 times. Round 4. Chain 4, chain 8, single crochet. Chain 8. Triple crochet between picots of round 3. Repeat from chaining 8 5 times. By the way, I accidentally did double crochets instead of triple crochets in between these picots, but it really doesn't matter, you can do either one. Round 5. Chain 3, chain 11, single crochet. 3 chain picot 3 times. Slip stitch into single crochet. Chain 11. Double crochet into triple crochet from round 4. 3 chain picot 3 times. Chain 3. Three chain picot. 7 chain picot. 3 chain picot. Slip stitch into next 3 chains. Three chain picot 3 times. Slip stitch into double crochet. Repeat from chain 11, 5 times. Slip stitch into third chain of round 5. And finish the tip of this arm of the snowflake in the same way as before, starting with the 3 chain picot. Knot and weave in tail. Okay, our snowflakes are done, and now we need to stiffen them. Some people use starch, but I like to use a mixture of craft glue and water. Let's prepare the surface we're going to pin to. I'm including a snowflake pinning template in my bundle. Again, link will be in the description, that you can use for any snowflake. You can also draw your own pinning guide, or you can just eyeball it. This just makes it easier to get your snowflake's arms evenly spaced. Tape it down or draw right on top of your cardboard. Put some parchment paper over that and tape that down. Now prepare your glue mixture. I usually use a ratio of about 2 parts water to 1 part glue. By the way, this was way too much glue and water. I could have done maybe half of what I did and still had enough. So if you're only doing a couple of snowflakes, maybe just start out with about a tablespoon of glue and then a couple tablespoons of water. Put your glue in the bowl first, and then gradually add the water while stirring. After it's fully mixed, take your snowflake and stick it in there. Massage it and get it really saturated. Leave it to soak for a minute or 2, and squeeze out all the excess liquid and put it on top of your pinning surface. Use pins to pull the snowflake taut, opposite points first. You may need to adjust as you pin depending on exactly how you want the snowflake to dry. The hard part, waiting for them to dry. It could be as little as overnight, or it could take a couple days, just depending on how much moisture you were able to squeeze out of them. It took mine about 2 days to fully, completely dry. After you allow them to dry overnight, you can just use them exactly as they are, or stay tuned for my next video, and I'm going to show you some projects that you can use these snowflakes in, and how to customize them. So easy enough, what do you think? Are you gonna give these a shot? Let me know if you do, and if you gave any as gifts, and just let me know how it goes. You can follow me on Instagram, I'm at Liz Bonvillas. My Facebook group is Vintage Sewing with Liz. I would love to have you, and thank you for watching. Until next time, bye.